Yeah, this show looks incredible. I
Right.
don't know what to say about it. If you watch the trailer, like this is a damn good trailer. Like it
Yeah.
just kind of hits you with a lot of stuff, like definitely some violence, some big
Violence.
Yeah, violence. I think the relation. I think I've solved it.
Cracked it. All right.
Vampires, violin, both start with the letter V.
Oh
That's
my
the-
God, dude. As
I've
I
solved
said,
it.
Xell is just so cool, calm, and collected. He always just knows everything. You know what I mean? Like, he just gets it. He just gets it.
Yo, what's up, guys? You are listening / watching the Nii-San Podcast, hosted by yours truly, Xell and Crim, and of course, with me is
Me, Crim, also known as the Asian Avenger, Xell's other left testicle.
Does that mean I have 3 testicles? Is that how that works?
Yeah. I think that's how it works.
So, by the way, Crim, pretty big announcement right off the bat. This is
Is it your
episode
left testicle?
50 for us. No. I need to get that checked by a doctor. So we are at the big 50, not cops. We're at 50 episodes of the podcast, and it's crazy to think how fast it's gone. Like it's become just like a weekly ritual to be forced to hang out with Crim and talk about his bad tastes to broadcast to everybody online. And we've just, for some reason, we've turned that into a show, and for some reason, we've made 50 of those episodes. So I think that's exciting.
A lot of episodes. Like to be forced to hang out with me, man. Like, I'm sorry, dude. But legitimately, this is huge. I didn't think that we could get to 50 this fast. I thought 50 would be something like way down the line. And here we are. So holy hell, for everybody that's listened and supported this long. Thanks so much for putting up with Josh's terrible takes and terrible tastes. So just different tastes.
Sorry, you said my name. I think you meant to say you.
Did I say that? Okay, all right. Weird. Awkward. Real awkward. Oh man. But legitimately, thank you for listening, watching, however you're choosing to enjoy this content that we do. We've got a small little knit little family here, and we're proud to have you here. So
yeah. So with that said, let's get this episode started. And of course, we're going to start a little bit with some news to talk about first. Let's talk about one of the cool things I think that happened recently, which is that it was announced that RWBY would be getting a official anime release. And look, I get it. Like, is RWBY an anime? I don't know. Whatever, but the fact is now it's inarguable because they're being animated by Shaft, and I think this is so cool because I haven't watched RWBY, but they've appeared as cameos in some of the fighting games I've played and have watched, and it's so crazy that this thing that started as I guess essentially a passion project from some YouTubers who wanted to create their own animated series took off, and that got bigger and better, and got such a following that now it's for real. It's got its own anime, and it's by Shaft, which is one of my favorite studios of all time, and so I'm so excited for them, for their fans, and I just think that's genuinely very cool.
Yeah, if you're a fan of RWBY, this is a big W. I myself never could get into it, mostly because I know the animation does get better, the show gets better, but I just couldn't invest the time into 2 to 3 seasons until I could finally enjoy it. But regardless of that, right? This is big. This is just like Xell had mentioned, this is their passion project getting out there and getting the backing to finally become a real anime. Or I guess. It's always been an anime. I thought it was kind of like an anime, but yeah, the thing here is it's now backed by Shaft. So hell yeah.
Yeah. It's like Pinocchio becoming a real boy.
Yeah, finally, huh?
So yeah, what else do we got on Weeb Weekly?
So we've got a few things. Mostly, I think one of the more important things that was announced as of recent now is Fully Cooley Grunge. Now, speaking of the weird animation of RWBY's first couple of seasons, the return of the not so popular 3D animation has hit. If you were a fan of the original Fully Cooley and its awesome art style, you're getting that if it were done 3D. Now, if you've watched it, it's not a full trailer. There's like maybe a 10-second clip with like the pillows playing, right? Now, I myself haven't seen anything after the original Fooly Cooly, but I told myself I'm going to sit down and watch all of this. So as of right now, though, I don't know how the other two went, but I can say that Grunge still has that art style that I like from Fooly Cooly, but I am curious and maybe concerned about the 3D animation. Just because I've always had a bad, just anytime I've seen 3D animation, it's always been just had a rough time for me, right? So
Yeah. It is
I'm a
highly
little bit worried.
stylized, but yeah.
Right. It's still got that stylized, like it's like 3D art, but done stylized, as opposed to the generic, weird, blocky, 3D, stuff. So I can tell they try to put some actual like love into the project, as opposed to just a straight up cash grab. But at the same time, it still feels like I've heard not too many like glowing reviews in that like it's nothing like the stuff that came out after the original Fooly Cooly, that it's nothing like the first run. But I think to fall short of how good the first run is okay, right? So if it's not the worst thing, then I guess that's fine, because this is gonna be spicy. This is gonna be spicy. But if you love a band and maybe their album's just not as good as the first one, I hope that they don't try to spend the rest of their career trying to catch lightning in a bottle again, right? Like the thing here is, I hope they run with it and make it something else. And if it's not the same quality, I think that's okay. I'm speaking from somebody that hasn't seen it, but I'm hoping that's the case, because I am going to sit down and watch it after I finish watching Kataru Lives Alone and finish up on a lot of things. But yeah, so that's currently my thoughts on that. Like I'm a little concerned. But if it falls a little short, I think I'm okay. But yeah, what do you think, Josh?
Yeah, I didn't even know that this was happening. From what I had heard, the sort of follow-ups to the legendary 6 episodes that was the original Fooly Cooly, like the follow-ups to it were not received particularly that well. It didn't seem like it was it felt very average, and just like no one was hating on it necessarily, but no one really liked it either. And so for them to now follow that up with, I think, which is a pretty radical decision, to now shift the art style into a different direction and all this, like I'm pretty concerned. And at this point, I'm kind of like, who is really asking for this? Like now, who is the target audience for Fooly Cooly? Like, because when I think about the original Fooly Cooly, it was such a ethereal, weird adventure that, like, as kind of the way you put it, like lightning in a bottle. And it was just one of those things where I'm not really sure what the intent is. And again, since I haven't watched the follow-ups, maybe I'm the one that's out of the loop. But yeah, look, if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. But from my point of view, there's nothing that really makes me want to watch this. So that's it's unfortunate too, because like I loved the original Fooly Cooly, but that said, I'm willing to be proved wrong.
I mean, I've heard that it's just okay, right?
Yeah.
And because of that, I want to see it for myself. So I'm gonna give you the final verdict after I actually watch it. But as of right now, I think I'm okay if it falls a little short. As I said, like I mean, I think the cool thing about Fooly Cooly is when it came out is at a time when anime was so scarce. You know what I mean? Like there's one form of like to watch, right? Like Adult Swim. Or Toonami, right? And then and it lined up perfectly with the coming of age, like the coming of age story lined up with our demographic, right? Because we were all growing up
Us
at that
oldies.
point. So yeah, us bag of bones, you know what I mean? So the goal here is when I watch the new stuff, I'm hoping it's able to appeal to the next generation of weebdom. So if it can do that, like, because example, if I told you to watch The Goonies today, would it be good, right? Like, like
I don't even
it's
know
one
what
of
the
those
Goonies
things.
are.
Perfect. Perfect. Then don't worry about it. But it's a lot like that, right? So if you watch some children's movie, you watch it now, right? Like things that you watched as a kid, like let's just say Pokemon the first movie or anything like that, and it hit way harder then, right? Like as a kid, Pokemon the first movie, I stood up, I cried, or any coming of age story, really, like if you watch as a kid, does it still hold up today? Can you show that to the next generation? And if the new Fully Cooley can still appeal to the coming of age, but to the new generation, then I guess it could work. Although I don't know which generation asked for the 3D animation of Grunge, because I think unanimously every generation has just said, "Yo, this sucks. Stop doing this."
Yeah, I was gonna say like I hear what you're saying about like the coming of age stories and whatnot, but like I never really saw Fully Cooley as like the original as being like targeted towards a younger audience. Like it's just a really interesting adventure and like very like metaphysical, metaphorical, like all the metas kind of like crammed into this like insane sort of thing. So I don't know.
All tied to like a growing teenage boy, right? Or like and like the things that you wonder, right? Like obviously it's I hope it's like a little bit different now because it was catered to because the anime was a more male dominated demographic, right? And now I'm hoping that they change and update it. But like we'll see, right? We'll see.
Yeah, I guess I'm just pretty negative on this whole thing, but I just think like coming of age stories can be good no matter when you watch it, whether you're old, young, whatever. Like the good ones are just good. But yeah, we'll see. And then of course we can't get that much further into the news without talking about what happened. At the time of filming yesterday, which is at the Oscars. You know who slapped you know what and who and yeah, so basically the Oscars had a really shocking moment. We're not going to go into the ethics of it. I'm not really interested in having that discussion, but I will say that the internet had won from this whole ordeal because some of the memes, they are fast and relentless. Like literally within the hour, I was seeing all sorts of memes, and like the memes would evolve in real time, and it was kind of crazy to see. And
I think immediately, right within seconds, I'm glad. I'm proud of the anime community for this one. You already saw the JoJo's, like you know what I mean. The walk up, like you're approaching me, like You've already got that like in 2 seconds, like after the event happened, right? And then people added. Then it evolved. Like 15 minutes later, people added the music, and then it just gradually grew and grew. And then I don't know how, but I believe like RDC, like Mark, like part of like RDC World, RDC.
Dude, they put out a skit like within like 2 hours. Like, how is that possible?
I think if you look at the filming outside, it's like nighttime or something, right? And if you look closely, so does that mean like they just immediately when it happened, they call each other up, come over right now, let's film right now. It's just and they got a bunch of suits and stuff. They were so fast on it. It was pretty damn funny.
You know when you've witnessed like a crazy cultural event, and I hate to put it that way because like in the end, who gives a crap? But like I think what's funny about it is just like the memes have infiltrated every part of my world. Like my Twitter timeline, from like Magic the Gathering nerds to fighting game nerds. Like I saw one where they like put like fighting game hitboxes on the like the famous picture. I saw JoJo memes from it. I saw soccer memes from it. Like it was crazy. It was just like the whole world saw that moment, and it's just kind of funny to be part of that for a hot second. So that was pretty. That was pretty exciting. But yeah, let's talk about what we are all here to listen to and to talk about, which is the next season of anime. Spring 2022 is on us, and this one, as we kind of talked about it in an episode prior, this is sort of the season of love. And
it really is.
In season of slice of life, like I'm so excited to talk about these because this season seems like it's going to be very, very fun, and I'm very excited to talk about it. So
it oddly feels very spring. Take it away?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, I'll take it away by starting it off as I think Josh and I, Xell and I, we both have agreed that like, Shield Hero Season 2 is here, right? For those that are excited, that's great for you. That's awesome. I don't think either of us like it, right?
Yeah, don't shoot us. I'm sorry, don't slap us. I know it's like It's a contentious thing because it is on my anime list. It is the one that I think is the most anticipated for this season. Which is wild. That's not a fan. Yeah. Not a fan of the show. So you know, if it gums your gummies or whatever,
if it does it for you, if it tickles your fancy, you know, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
But we're gonna move right on because you know something that we actually both are pretty excited for.
Yeah, Kaguya-Sama. I'm so excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the third season of the show. I know we both love the show. Yeah. And what is there more to say than you know, like this show is amazing, and a third season is also going to be amazing. I just know that it will be.
How many seasons do you think they can have them essentially not fold to their pride?
That's like, I mean, so it's funny because like I usually complain about this in rom-coms where they sort of blue ball the main romance, but because of how outlandish the show is, like I'm down with it. I'm like, you know what? These blue balls, they feel great.
Man, we are really on the topic of Xell's balls today.
Yeah, my left testicle, second left testicle.
I do have blue hair. I'm your left testicle. I do have blue hair. It makes sense.
Yeah. But at the end of season 2, it did seem like the relationship was slowly evolving, and I'm curious to see what more comes from it. We also,
you know, they're gonna reset at the beginning of season 3.
Oh right? Yeah. I mean, if you watch the trailer, like it looks like they are not going to get any further. It's gonna be the same old thing, but hey, that's what we're in for.
Yeah, like we're here for the charm and like how outlandish it. You know what? Like we know the manga is either ending or something like that, or has ended. But like regardless, for the speaking strictly just anime watchers, you and I, this seems like it could be fun, and I don't mind how many seasons they put out there as long as they keep just writing the situations as outlandish and as silly as these. And I think the biggest charm to this show, if you haven't gotten into it by now, it's just it feels like you're watching a shonen sports anime. Right? Like it's just so absurd. They have these competitions, you know, the victor is usually nobody because they both miss on so many things. And like I love that. I love the narrative and the narrator actually. So like this is a good one. This is a feel good, and I strongly recommend starting season 1 if you haven't done so yet. It is so much fun to watch. I know people are often like off put, right? Like this whole season in general. People are often just not like into romance or like slice of life sometimes, right? But if you're into comedies, think of it just like comedies. You can enjoy these.
Yeah, I mean, Kaguya-sama at its heart of heart is really just about how funny it is and how charming it is. Like it's a cat and mouse game about who can get the other person to fall in love and say that they, you know, have a crush on them. Like that in itself, that like subtext there, and how much they're able to play around with it. Like that's what makes the show really special. Each and every one of the characters are extremely lovable, and it's a good cast, just good stuff all around. So big ups to that. Okay, let's move on to this next one, which I know Crim has been hyping this up to me. This one is also one of the, I think, most anticipated shows for the season, and this one is Spy X Family, and this one is going to be animated by Cloverworks and in combination with Wit Studio. Let me just say, this show has it all. Like, it looks like it has great visuals, thanks to Cloverworks and Wit Studios. It has a great storyline. If you even just read the synopsis, you'll already see how great like the setup is for the show.
Yeah.
And then if you watch the preview, you'll also see how like well they've given life to these absurd characters. And you want to talk us into this one, Crim?
I think the problem is making it so that I don't only talk about this anime for the next like hour, because holy hell, this show has everything. Just watch the trailer. Right? I read the manga, I'm caught up on it, but like this is everything that I wanted, right? Like Anya is going to steal everyone's hearts. Not like she is the most adorable and wholesome character that you will see in quite some time, and they did a great job just showing her in the trailer, right? Like she's just peeking out, her big like ever loving eyes, the absurdity that is like for those that don't know, the whole synopsis is essentially a spy has to fake a family. Simple as that, right? Without spoiling anything, except the twist is that the family is the spy who thinks that the other two are normies, but actually the wife, who's a sweetheart, is an assassin, and the daughter is a telepath. But he doesn't know that because the spy is often just like, wait, why does my daughter or my fake daughter seem like brilliant, but also completely just not like there mentally at times, right? And you find out how and why. And so the comedy, the way this is set up, the beauty and the chemistry between and the main character, he's great. Like between both of them is hilarious, and you watch them fall in love. But like between Lloyd and all of them, like, oh, it's so sweet. I think it's the cutest, and it's got the action. It's got the action in there too. So and then just wait. Like you already see from the supporting cast, there's more characters going to be added throughout the show, and all of them are going to be just like your favorites. Like this show just has everything you want from a spy action comedy.
I think this show is so funny to me because the setup is just so good in that like the dad and mom, quote unquote, are both like in this fake family for their own reasons, and they think they're like the ones who have something special going on. But what's genius about it is that the daughter is an Esper and knows everything, and so through her eyes we see how ridiculous that each and every one of the characters is, and I think that setup is just so like it's so perfect. And yeah, I'm so looking forward to this one. Yeah.
I also, can I just slightly mention that the theme, like my anime list has this theme as childcare.
That's a very loose way to put it, Mr. Spy and Assassin. So, this show's definitely on my watch list for sure. Moving on to the next one, we have the second season of Komi-san. Which both Crim and I, again, we liked the first season a lot. This show, if you read just the synopsis, it's, it seems kind of run of the mill where it's like, okay, girl is shy, wants to make friends, meets a guy, and they like hit it off, and she like learns to be more social, yada, yada. However, and the show is anything but typical with how over the top it is. It's kind of like Kaguya-Sama, I think, in a lot of ways, where like the characters really bring the sort of simple synopsis to life, and the absurdity at which they go to is really like kind of the charm of the show. And this is, of course, the return of some of my favorite characters in anime. And I'm just very excited for this. In general, not because the main couple excites me, it's just like everything around them is so great. So
yeah, I mean, like just the thing that wins me over is that it has every character. Like it has a character, like just like every character in anime that's ever existed, every trope is jammed into one, and it's got the perfect mixture of wholesome. It's just so damn wholesome at points, and I'm just like, it's sweet. I can't help but just have this ear-to-ear smile. I'm like, yeah.
And by every character, Crim is not underselling that at all. Like, there's a girl who walks around with knight armor on. There's a ninja. There's there's literally, there's the older sister caring person. There's also the crazy competitive girl. Like, there's like every archetype is represented, but they're turned up to 11.
Fire?
Yes, the pink. Oh, that girl too. But I was thinking about the pink-haired girl who has like her own personal rivalry that Komi doesn't even know is happening. Yeah. Like the characters are so absurd and weird, and some of them I'm not a big fan of. But like overall, the picture that they present here is just so fun that like I can't help but smile when I watch the show. So definitely looking forward to more of that. So yeah, let's move on to the next show that we're going to talk about, which is Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie. Yet another one of Crim's like, super anticipated
that dying
animes.
Sound in the background is obviously excitement for those that are wondering. Like,
so yeah,
season.
You've read the manga on this, right, Crim?
So I've only lightly read the manga on this. I wanted to watch it. I wanted to wait until it came out. So I'm excited to see what this becomes. Just because I thought this was hilarious. It's just a sweet show. You're gonna really like Shikimori. I personally like Shikimori. I think everyone right now has pretty much got their Marin posters up. You know what I mean? And like My Dress Up Darling, yada yada yada. For me, Shikimori is the one that steals my heart here. Like this is the one. Okay, I like this. I like how sweet. I like how the chemistry is between her and the main. So, classic shy guy meets this girl. This girl is, just more than just sweet and sweet looking, right? Like the title says it all, right?
Yeah.
But she's got this dark, edgy side. So naturally, the edgelord would like the girl that's got the darker side, right? Like hell yeah, it just makes it really fun. It's gonna be a good romance. It's gonna be a good romance for sure, and it's beautifully animated. I think this is so well done.
I was gonna say this is animated by our studio of culture, Doga Kobo, who is very well known for these sort of sweeter slice of life shows. Like they animated My Senpai is Annoying, which is one of my favorite slice of lives that came out recently. And they're always responsible for the two shows that are just very light and fluffy, and this one looks like that. I will say that when I read the synopsis and I watch the preview, the setup feels sort of again kind of similar to a lot of these recent batch of shows where it's about a shy guy who meets a girl who's the outgoing one, and they sort of dictate the life. But I that said, I'm still excited to watch it. Like Crim has said, he's really excited about it. I know a lot of people are excited about this one, so I'm hoping that we get a little more flavors than just the sort of typical thing that I've been seeing.
I think the problem is the trailer didn't do a good job. I personally, if I didn't know anything about it, I would think this trailer, much like Xell has just mentioned, is this just another show that has existed before, right? But I think that's because just the trailer wasn't anything spectacular, and that they didn't show what actually is in store for you, right?
I was just gonna say that there's nothing wrong with having similar sort of story beats, as long as they're doing it well, right? So kind of like we already talked about, Komi-san, Kaguya-Sama, these are shows that have had their sort of same sort of plot setup done a million times, but they do it in such a unique way. So I'm hoping for that out of this latest Doga Kobo show.
I think the issue, the line that they have to walk is I think if they show too much, you know what I mean? Nowadays they have to walk this line where trailers have to pull you in but not show too much. And trailers a lot nowadays just show you everything, which I think can be a problem. So, yeah, I'm excited for this one. But what about the next two animes?
Yes. So after that blistering start that we had with some of the I think the top, anticipated shows, we get into some weirder stuff. So the next one, I wanted to bring up, which is interesting, is called Aharen is Indecipherable. Aharen-san wa hakaranai. This one is weird. So just to read off the synopsis really quick, it's basically about this little girl who's just kind of weird. She's just a little spacey. She gets too close to people. She doesn't talk very loud. She's just kind of out of it.
She either it encroaches on your comfort space or doesn't talk to you.
Yeah, and she is also this about the size of, I don't know, she's 2 feet tall maybe on a good day. And basically she meets this guy who off kind of a chance moment, he returns an eraser to her, and apparently now she sees that as a sign that they're best friends, and now it's just about them hanging out. So I watched the trailer on this. It's one of those shows that when my first impression of it is I don't know if this show's gonna be for me, man. It's just one of those things. It's essentially it feels like you've made a sort of slice of life show where the two main characters are Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy, where they both.
Wait, is that a bad thing?
Yes, mainly because like I just think
Excuse you?
the characters are just not that interesting, and when they have interactions that just boil down to how many misunderstandings can you cram into a single scene, like I lose interest. Personally speaking, I just think like, look, I want main character. This is just okay. I'm gonna get on my soapbox right now, Crim. After this 2 in a row. I'm already mad about this. So I just want to say, like, anime. I just want main characters that are interesting. That like we don't have to like. You don't have to make them as vapid and as blank as possible to get people to relate with them. I get it. The average person is boring. The average person doesn't have that much going on for them. And I understand that like people pine for like their self-inserts where they get to feel powerful while watching the show or feel loved or whatever. But no, I'm just saying I just want something different, man. I just want shows that hit me with characters that like make me aspire to want to be like them, you know? Like when you watch a sports anime, when you watch, I don't know, just these shows where they have main characters that are captivating and have really good positive attributes that make you want to be like them instead of these vapid empty spaces of vacuum and like that don't have anything to do with anyone and they just exist because like people find that interesting. I guess I just don't understand, Crim. I'm so mad about this. Can you tell?
Josh,
I'm mad.
Can you tell me how you really feel though? Because I feel like I didn't pick up on that.
I need like an anime therapist. I need
those
to talk to someone,
exist.
Crim.
Those characters exist in real life. See, I'm a walking example. What? What do you mean? Okay, I do understand. I understand where you're coming from. Like, you know, a lot of shows have kind of been doing that, but I think if it's done in a right way, like, you know, it's like how you get there, right? Like some of this stuff you've seen before, but it's how you get there and like how you write it. And I could enjoy it. The character like that you're talking about, these characters don't bother me. They're just like weird, right? Like they're just like weird normally.
Yeah, just weird.
That's all they are. They're just weird, right? And like it's like funny and it's funny in watching how odd and disconnected they are from the real world, right? And I think that's the charm. So like how disconnected they are really is what sells me, right? Like I don't need to be self-inserted. Obviously, if the show has a self-insert, like I can relate to a character, that's hilarious. I obviously want characters to have personality, but you know, like in a weird way, their disconnect is the personality, right? And then I can live with that if it's done right. So this show could be good or it could be bad. I mean, for me right now, I think I've had an issue where I've written things off before giving it an honest try, and this is one of those shows where I don't want to write it off yet. And I've also given shows an honest shot and thought they were way better than thought they would be better than they actually ended up. Duke of Death's mate. So I will watch this because I think there's a chance that there's actually some serious, wholesome interactions. And this it could be very cute. Or it's boring and it sucks, but, you know, and it's in a season where we've got a lot of stacked anime. But if this came out last season, I would be hyped on this.
Yeah, I like I said, it's possible that this ends up being, you know, funnier or more charming than it initially seems to me. But yeah,
We'll see.
We'll
see. How about that? We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. We'll
All right.
see. Right?
Well,
right? You know, let's give it an episode. Give it an honest shot. I'll give it an honest shot. And we'll
look,
see.
I'm down to give it a couple episodes to see it, but
Right? Okay.
I'm just not holding my breath, which is more than I can say for this next one.
I don't want to just sound like a bunch of cranky old weebs, right? Like I want to give it a shot before I say anything. But yeah, the next one, I'm gonna get on my soapbox because this is one of the ones that I had just mentioned last episode that I'm really tired of. Okay, so it's called A Couple of Cuckoos. 16-year-old super studier Nagi Amino, second-year student at the Meguro River Academy High School, was switched at birth. On his way to dinner to meet his birth parents, he accidentally meets this brash, outspoken Erika Amano, who is determined to make Nagi her fake boyfriend as she never wants to actually marry. But once Nagi makes it to dinner, he finds his parents have decided to resolve the hospital switch by conveniently having him marry the daughter his birth parents raised, who turns out to be none other than Erika herself. So this is a stepbrother, what are you doing, right? Like almost, but it's like it's like the sibling thing, right? It's like pretty much a sibling thing again, right?
It's a siscon with extra steps here.
Right. Can we okay, as I said, I'm a little bit old school. Maybe I'm just a little old school, but what if you just like people that aren't related to you?
Yeah, in any shape or form.
Yeah, like, is that possible? I get it, like, it's not like they're blood related, but, you know, because they're swapped at birth, yada, 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 but, like, come on, please.
Yeah, I don't understand the obsession with it. I mean, overall, if you somehow manage to ignore the whole, like, stepsister, stepbrother, subplot there, I mean, this just seems like another sort of, like, harem setup, I guess, where they set up like a very strong tie between the main characters, and then you introduce other girls in, and it's like a nisekoi version 15 billion and a half, you know?
Yeah, the 15 time, like the 15 billionth time watering down nisekoi.
Yeah, it's so like I don't know, man. You got off on a bad foot with me when you started with this weird thing, and like, what kind of parents does that, by the way? They're like, oh yeah, we're sorry that we accidentally picked up this other kid instead of you, even though you're related to us by birth. So why don't you marry the person that we actually raised with love, unlike you? Like, what is this setup? Like, I don't understand. Like,
whose fantasy is this?
Yeah, like why are the parents like weird? Like, I just don't understand,
dude. Maybe because, dude, bro, this isn't a story for you, man. You just don't understand it. Okay, dude?
It certainly isn't a show for me, so
yes,
you know that one.
I can safely say this is one of the ones I'll probably be skipping.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Again, great if you like it, I guess. This is one of the ones I can't get down with. So, but yeah, let's move on to the next one that I'm going to probably be watching. Which is going to be Science Fell in Love. So I try to prove it. Second season. If you've watched the first season, Ayami, she's great. She's this awkward girl. I don't know if I know Josh has feelings about that, but I do like my awkward characters. I like my weird characters that are kind of like quirky and like out of touch, and I can't help but find it a little bit charming. And this time,
how many
it's
versions of that character do we need? Okay, anyways.
Look. There's a Rikakuma. Did you know that?
Wow, Crim. I like this argument of, hey, look behind your shoulder.
But look over there. I do think though, like, yeah, is the trope played out? Probably, but again, it's written in a way where I can get down with it. It's like watching two nerds who don't know, like, it's essentially another version of like Love is War, right? You're gonna get a lot of that this season of how many times people cannot admit love or understand how to process feelings, right? That's essentially this season. It's like, yo, anime community, how are you out there? Do you know how to process feelings? Because this season,
are you guys down bad horrendously?
Natural, dude, as I've said before, I'm down catastrophically. So that's why I love these shows, right? So these shows are perfect. They line up with me. And I know there's not like John. Not all of us can be like Xell, well-formed sentences, cohesive thoughts, and knows how to communicate. There's the crims out there that just, sit here and like, so like,
but see, that's what I am, and I want to aspire to have, I don't know, the wittiness of Sakuta from, I almost said My Chemical Romance, My
oh
Bunny
damn,
Girl
I didn't know
Senpai.
that. My Chemical Romance. Was that Helena, also known as
Oh yeah. Also known as Mai Sakurajima. I don't know if you guys. I think in the Japanese translated, that's how they say it. Anyways,
see, yeah, like as I was saying, like let us know in the comments. Like clearly, do you think like if I told you up front right now? You listen to Xell. You listen to him talk, right? Tell me right now. Tell me, YouTube, do you think he seems like he's cool, calm, and collected? He knows what he's talking about. I'm the bumbling idiot that's like, juggling things around, but that's just because that's me. So I think these characters are fine. I think the clueless characters are fine. I relate to the clueless characters, so.
It's funny because like this show bothers me a lot less than some of the other shows that are like this, because like at least the concept hasn't really been done as far as I've seen, where like they basically Dr. Stone the essence of love, where they like they take that bit really far. So look, it's the show is definitely like a turn your brain off romance thing, and if you're down with that, like you'll like the show, I think. So
My brain's never on, so yeah, it was great.
Perfect. These next three shows.
Perfect.
These next three shows are sort of the isekai of the season bunch. We have Ascendance of a Bookworm season 3, which has actually a pretty solid following, I think.
Yes, I was gonna say, I get it. They're isekais, and just much like I've mentioned before, I'm okay with an idea being regurgitated and done 1,000 times over, because in the entertainment industry, all of that, it's always regurgitated usually, right? There's very rarely something new, right? So, but the thing that actually was a twist on the isekai was that they actually, for those that don't know, this is a story about somebody who's reborn, right? She's had like no social life before. She's reborn into a new world, right? And in this world,
another main character that has lack of social skills. I'm just saying.
Look,
I'm just
as
saying.
I said, this is the season where anime community, you okay out there? Like I'm here for you in a weird, awkward way. She's reborn into a new world, but this is where it gets spicy. That's why I like the show. It's that the book hasn't been invented yet, right? So she's trying to bring the first piece of literature into this world, and I like that. I think there's charm to it. The show moves like kind of little too slow at points, and I won't lie to you, I wove in and out of season 2 because it just moved way too slow for me, right? But I was still watching it. So hopefully, with where it left off, they can dial it back, bring it in, and it seems like this show can't run on for like 50 seasons. They have to end this. They have to end this because, like, you're telling me we're going to have 15 seasons until the first book is written. That's going to be problematic. But it comes down to, like, inventing paper, right? So if you're okay with Dr. Stone, I think this is along the lines of Dr. Stone, but instead of science, you just make it literature. So...
yeah. I think this is one of those shows, like, I think compared to, like, I'm not going to lump this in with the rest of the isekai garbage where, they're actually bad. Like, this show has its following. I've heard good things about it generally. Like, it's not the best, but it's nowhere near the worst. And it's more than an acceptable show. So I know a lot of people are excited about this one as well. So
yeah. The other two, though, are like Skeleton Knight in Another World, or... I see the one after that, Yusha Yumamasu or whatever. I thought it said I'm quitting heroin, and I'm like, but I'm just like,
I would be in for that. That would sound like a unique anime.
Wait,
actually,
did they make Breaking Bad an anime? And then I read the synopsis, and I was like, hold on, I read that wrong.
So, yeah, like both of these shows are just very much run-of-the-mill fantasy / isekai anime. Like there's
literally nothing new. Reskinned characters.
Like completely. Besides the fact that Skeleton Knight is like kind of looks like Sans from Undertale, and I'm Quitting Heroing has a title that initially brought me in. It's not heroine. Like yeah, there just really isn't that much to say about these two. Like someone can tell me if this is actually the next coming of an isekai that like takes over the world, but like I'm not looking out for that. Okay, so let's get into this next one, which I'm actually very excited about and is very interesting to me.
Yes,
and
same.
Also, funny enough, some funny things about the publishing I've heard about this one as well. So this show is called Summertime Render, and essentially this is a show about a murder mystery, and it's very... If you watch the preview for it, it's got a very like mature tone to it. But one thing that I think is very funny about the show is that apparently it might be being published on Disney Plus ? Or something like that. Yeah. So like I was very confused. I was like, I'm not sure.
Disney's trying to get into anime, more of it.
That's
Same
what
with
I'm
Marvel.
hearing. And so that's why it's so weird that like I heard that this one might be on Disney Plus, but like again, this is a murder mystery, so I'm like, I
we
can't
just
think
got
of
Daredevil. That's a murder mystery. So
so I guess like in the line of murder mysteries, they're just bringing all that to Disney Plus. I don't know.
But yeah, like this. Okay, well, first off, let's go. Let's talk about what it is. After his parents died, Shinpei lived with Kofune's sisters, Mio and Ushio, but he has since moved to live on his own in Tokyo. But after Ushio drowns while trying to save the young Shiori, he returns home to mourn her departure. However, bruises around Ushio's neck bring her cause of death into question, right? So, you can kind of figure it out from there. But, like, this looks... Okay, this has potential to be the anime of the summer for me, or of spring for me. Like this, I know the others. The others are going to bring this. Okay, it's either that or Spy Family for me, or Shikimori. Right? Those are my top 3 for this upcoming season: Shikimori, Spy Family, or this. This could also. The problem with these shows is it's all riding on how it's ended. So this could be the best show for 10 episodes. We've seen it before, Wonder Egg, all that. And then the final 2 episodes literally poos itself. So if the animation is beautiful, there's a lot here. I really like this, murder mystery done in anime. I'm curious to see how this ends, because this could be a big one for the season. Especially in a season, it's also the standout because I think it's one of the more serious ones and darker toned ones from this season.
Yeah, I that's like the big thing is like this is so different than some of the shows that we talked about, right? Like a lot of the shows so far we've talked about are your standard fantasy stuff or like slice of life, and then here's murder mystery, man. Like this is going to be a little more mature, I think, maybe a little more graphic. Like,
so Josh, you're gonna need to get a Guardian signature.
Okay. Well, you can be my guardian because you're certainly old enough.
That's true. Thank you. I am ancient. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know again.
Got him. He's laughing, but on the inside, it's that meme where
it's like the mask, right?
Yeah,
smiling with tears.
Okay. So yeah,
you're there in 2 months.
That's true. Crim kind of mentioned it though. Like I think this is for sure, like potentially a dark horse pick where this could potentially be a standout anime that no one really expects. And we'll see. And like, also, I agree with Crim too. Again, like a murder mystery has to really nail an ending, right? Like it's a mystery. Like how good can a mystery be if the ending sucks? Like I really don't know. So let's move on.
Okay.
What's the next one you want to talk about?
The next one I want to talk about is Love After World Domination. Yes, your resident piece of trash, me, has to watch this show because if you don't know, it's the synopsis is: in the eyes of the public, Furu and Desumi are sworn enemies who have nothing in common. Also, Furu, also known as Red Gelato, which, by the way, the gelatos look like Power Rangers, right? It's like on that Power Rangers kind of like trope and stuff. So yeah, is the leader of the Hero Squadron Gelato 5, whose mission is to bring about world peace. On the other hand, Desumi is the minion of leader of Gecko, a villainous organization seeking world domination. However, despite these differences, their relationship is not quite what it seems. When they're not making a show of being at each other's throats, Desumi and Furu continue to pursue a forbidden love. So it's kind of sweet. It's romantic. It's another love story, but it's a love story between a hero and a villain, essentially, right?
Yeah.
And like what they do when they're not heroing and being a villain. So this has the makings, the setup to be absurd but like obviously it's gonna have fan service. You can just tell by the main Desumi's like outfit. There's already, I'll let you know this right now. You don't watch the trailer if you don't want to, but there's a scene where she literally like kind of punches down or does this downward attack, and naturally the skirt goes up. And where's the angle? Riding right up the thighs, right? Like, yes, thank you. So yes, your resident piece of trash is here to inform you. This is my trash pick for next season. I love it. I don't know anything about it, but anything with Gelato 5 has least warranted 4 to 5 episodes of watching for me.
Yeah.
And the main character, like Desumi, she seems like a sweetheart, and my inner trash can't help but love her. And maybe Anime Expo allows it, and it's big enough, I might even buy a Daki. Who knows?
The setup for the show is just so absurd and funny, you know, and like I think the whole idea that they're kind of these like Romeo and Juliet star-crossed lovers situation, and they're just having to like make a show of their feud to like not let anybody know what's actually going on is very funny to me. So yeah, I think this is a show that has a lot of potential. It's one of those shows that could be pretty funny, and I'm actually looking forward to watching a couple episodes of this.
I think I can do a deep philosophical breakdown, you know, like when you think about it, it's like opposites attract, man. You know what I mean, dude? Like, whoa.
Magnets, right? Like, how do they work? I'll introduce another show here that I'm also looking forward to. Danseur. This one's going to be animated by MAPPA. And to go over the synopsis. I don't know. I think they have loads of free time, I'm sure.
Mappa's small indie studio, MAPPA. Okay.
Yeah, they just have so many animators to spare, I'm sure. But yeah, the synopsis goes, Junpei is happily snoozing away during his sister's ballet recital when a male ballet dancer steps onto the stage. Moved by the strength and skills the dancer displays, the boy discovers his love for this art. But after a certain tragedy happens, he vows to leave his past behind and turn into the epitome of manliness. What will he do when his love for ballet reignites? So watching the trailer, the art style is very unique. It kind of brings to life kind of like old school shoujo manga, you know, like the way that the characters are like strung out. They're like very long looking, and they've got those giant eyes with like extremely long lashes, and it just reminds me of that era of like Clamp manga when they kind of ruled the world. And so I don't know. I think this is kind of an interesting one. The plot of it kind of reminds me of have you ever watched the movie Billy Elliot?
No.
It's an older movie about like a boy who gets bullied for being a ballet dancer, essentially, and him growing up with that. Which, by the way, funny story is that the ballet kid from that movie, guess who he is now?
Christian Ronaldo.
Spider-Man. He's Tom Holland.
Oh, it's Tom Holland?
Yeah, which was like really funny looking back on it.
That's pretty rad, dude.
So anyways, yeah, Billy Elliot. So it kind of reminds me of that. And this is one of those shows that I think, again, like this is doesn't look to be like your kind of humorous take on this thing. It looks very serious. It's got a little bit of a darker tone to it. So yeah, I just think, hey, look, it's animated by MAPPA. Like it's gotta be worth a watch, right?
Yeah, you know, I can see that. I can see that. Like it looks like it could be cool, not sure. It seems one of those shows like a lot like how I know I might get roasted for this, but it feels a little bit slow. It looks like it'd be slow like Blue Period. I don't know. I mean, I might watch this.
Yeah, I definitely agree though that like, look, as far as like dramatic shows like this, like it's even titled as like a drama, like these shows can waffle a lot, and so it will take.
And you've just been more of a pancake guy. I get it.
Yeah, actually, that's just not true. I love waffles.
I know, I love waffles too.
The first 3 episodes are going to be really important, I think, to the show to see if I actually like want to watch it, because it really has to hook me. Because again, I'm not a ballet dancer. I have no affinity for ballet. So like the characters and like the kind of situation that the characters find themselves in, they have to hook me. If they don't get to the point in the first couple episodes, like I'm out. So
yeah, this is one of those shows where a lot like, what is it? We've had what was the one? Oh yeah, the Aquatope, right? Like we've gotta like make sure that the dilemma, the issues are present soon and right away, like within the first couple of episodes. This is one of those things where like, like it can just sit around and like turn its like wheels like over and over and over and over, and nothing happens. So that's kind of the problem with these kind of shows. But we're gonna see. Well, at least you will, and you let me know if it's
good. Sounds good. Another show that is very low on my anime list, but has like such an absurd like absurd synopsis that I was like, okay, I'm kind of interested. So this one is by PA Works. Another hey, remember Aquatope? But the show is called Ya Boy Kongming. General of the Three Kingdoms, Kongming has struggled his whole life, facing countless battles that made him accomplish the accomplished strategist that he was. So on his deathbed, he wished only to be reborn into a peaceful world, and was sent to modern day Party Central Tokyo. Can even a brilliant strategist like Kongming adapt to the wild beats and even wilder party people? So this is like a reverse isekai where, for anyone who doesn't know who, I don't know, because there's that Roman
becoming
one.
a trend? Right, yeah, because the Roman one just aired, and now we have the reverse isekai. People are coming to our world as opposed to going to theirs.
I guess in some ways you could say Devil's a part-timer maybe, kind of brought that in. They were like, hey, wait, we could do this again.
Right.
And so anyways, this show is so funny to me. One, it hooked me right away from the beginning because I love Dynasty Warriors, the video game franchise, which is all about the War of the Three Kingdoms.
Right.
And so the idea that one of those like generals came back to life in modern day is just like a very absurd sort of thing. And he's even got the same sort of outfit that he wears in Dynasty Warriors. So yeah, this is just like one of those absurdist shows, and the trailer actually makes it look kind of decent. And again, it's by PA Works, which means that the animation is going to be good looking. We'll just see about what the story will entail. This one is actually based off of manga, so it's not an OG works from PA, but yeah.
There was one that I kind of wanted to see also and like slightly talk about, which was the RPG. RPG Fudosan, which English translation is RPG Real Estate. It looks just like this fantasy world, cute girls doing cute things, and I don't know. I kind of get down with that, right? Like if it's not like weirdly perverted or something, but it seems like this could just be a slice of life in another fantasy world, right? And it's not like it's an isekai, like where they're reborn. This is just, it's actually in a fantasy world. So if the season's moving slow and a lot of the shows end up being a stinker for some odd reason, I could see me starting this as a filler. Like it's got me curious, I think is what it is.
Look, man, this show is another one by Doga Kobo, and they do this genre extremely well for the most part. So I would also say that this show could be one of those shows that ends up being much more fun than what meets the eye. Like, I think of like Comic Girls and stuff like that. So I think this is a good one.
I feel like this could be like the Slime 300 for me. I know that you didn't like how that eventually ended, but like for the start of the show and most of it,
was fun.
It was
fun.
Good start, right? Like, and it was pretty fun. So it looks like it could be that.
Yeah, so that kind of rounds up the general like anime shows that we were excited about. Now, the thing is, besides just the animated series stuff, there are a lot of other releases that like I think people are going to be excited about. So we wanted to mention those. Oh my God, there's so many things. So let's talk about ONAs, which stands for Original Net Animation, which means these aren't being broadcast like on TV anywhere, and instead are going straight to like think of them as straight to video, right? Or straight to like streaming services. And one of the shows that I have been looking forward to since I saw the trailer a while back was Bubble, which is going to be like a movie. It's 100 minutes long. It's by Wit Studio, and the story and the sort of setting is nonsense. Essentially, the world has lost control of gravity. And thus now people do like parkour combination or like competitions, and they go that's essentially the setup is like this guy and this girl who are part of these parkour combinations. They meet up and I honestly don't even know much more from that, but it looks really cool. So
it does. It's giving me some almost like a like Your Name, kind of Weathering with You style, like art. So I kind of like that a lot. And then, of course, I think the concept itself seems pretty interesting, right? Like it seems pretty interesting to see what it essentially would be like to have not have gravity. So obviously John Mayer invented gravity, so that's a reference to his song. But
That I think was a cover, right?
John Mayer invented gravity.
Yeah.
That's just
He's
his
also
thing.
a scientist. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So like this, I'm excited to see what it's like. It looks just really fun. And it's done by Wit. So, if you don't know Wit, then we've been pretty high on them before. They used to do Attack on Titan, but they also did the most recent Magic the Gathering Neon Dynasty short. So I was a huge fan of that. And once Wit did a MTG short, I'm a huge fanboy of Wit now. Just everything Wit. But yeah, so there's a little bit more than just that, right? So we also have Vampire in the Garden. Now, this one is going on to Netflix, and the synopsis: once vampires and humans lived in harmony, now a young girl and a vampire queen will search for that paradise once again. In the divided world of the future, two girls want to do the forbidden. The human wants to play the violin, and the vampire wants to see a wider world. I don't know where the violin comes into this, but Xell, you gotta be in for this, right? You play a little bit of the violin of yourself, you know what I mean? Come on, right? This has got to capture a little bit of your interest. How does the violin? Is this one of those things where you read the synopsis, right? When we read Vivi, pop star, Vocaloid goes around and tries to just swoon the world with her singing. Right? Is this going to be something like Vivi where randomly, damn, is the art style and the way things look, it looks like I'm going to get hit in the feels somewhere along the way. And it's going on to Netflix. And it's going to get on there on May 16th, but it looks good. It looks very good.
I don't know how Wit Studio, like Mappa, has any time to make this many things, but this show looks incredible. I don't know what to say about it. If you watch the trailer, this is a damn good trailer. It just kind of hits you with a lot of stuff, definitely some violence, some big
violence.
Yeah, violence. I think the relation. I think I've solved it.
Cracked it. All right.
Vampires, violin, both start with the letter V.
Oh my God, dude. As I said, Xell is just so cool, calm, and collected. He always just knows everything. You know what I mean? He just gets it. He just gets it.
You can call me Sherlock. It's okay. It's
this dude. I'm in the honestly, I'm in the presence of a god. So wow, that brain at work. But in all honesty, if you watch the trailer, it's got battles. It's got, vampires, there's blood. It's just blood flying everywhere. But it's got beautiful animation, beautiful scenery. If you're a fan of Aharen, a space cosmonaut, right? It gives me a little bit of that, but with more darkness. And if you took the romance out of it, right? And you added it feels like just more of Castlevania at times too, right? But I'm okay with that. And you know what? The best thing is the animation does the beautiful blend of 3D. This is when studios hear, oh, they like 3D. I don't think they're listening truly, because this is what we mean when we say good 3D, right? And this just looks like it has it all. The plot already lends itself to, there's Oscar baits and things like that. This feels like it lends itself to feels trips immediately.
Yes.
Because the divide between species and whatnot, this just looks really good. Could suck.
Dude, I have high hopes for this.
I mean, dude, but I didn't think they could mess up Fena.
I think this will be a little different because it's Netflix. I think Netflix, because it's an original net animation, it gives you a lot more latitude as the creators to be how many episodes do we want? How long do episodes need to be? So I'm hoping that with a little bit more of the freedom that being on Netflix and not being, hard set on broadcast rules, I'm hoping that this is where Wit Studio can really flex their creativity with their storytelling and stuff. And dude, I've been rewatching the trailer nonstop here, and it's gorgeous, and it really it does feel a little Oscar baity. You've got people shooting at each other with kind of like World War II looking era guns. You've got these deeply visceral, violent scenes. You've got monsters. You've got tears. You've got what looks like to be like some sacrifices that are being made. Like, I don't know. It just kind of has it all. And yeah, the score while it's all playing too is just like, ooh, it just gives you the nerd goosebumps right away, man. I don't know.
Right. Like this is another one where I think I don't know if there's actually any hype on it, but as I was browsing through, I think this was one of the ones that caught me immediately, and I think this could be another front runner of the season. I think this is going to be a gem that's going to be overlooked.
Yeah. So that's kind of the ones that I think we wanted to mention for ONAs.
And two more things.
Oh yeah, because we're gonna talk about some movies, because there are a lot of movies that I am excited about here, and I think there's a lot. Like, dude, anime is firing at all cylinders right now. It's kind of nuts.
We're back. We're picking back up after last season. Now I know that everybody's like Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer. Yes, those two were bangers. But when you look past that, I don't know. There wasn't that much, right? It felt really slow compared to the seasons before. Now I feel like we're back. Like we took a season off, we had an off season, and now we're back. This is the season where we get a lot, and I mean so much anime. And especially after seeing how well Jujutsu Kaisen did after falling short of Batman, which, by the way, if you haven't seen it, we have a whole episode reviewing Jujutsu Kaisen 0, so go check that out. But yeah, like this looks like it's going to be the season to like get weebs back in it, right? Like we kind of like got into other hobbies in our off time, the off season, but now we're back in full force. And of course, we're starting with for those that don't know, I am. If you're listening to this, I'm currently holding a Miku Nakano figurine in her wedding outfit, and I hold it near and dear to my heart.
Why is she in that wedding outfit? I'm curious.
No, those what? What?
Is she getting married? I
to
don't
me
know.
at least. So the thing here is, that's right, the Quintuplets movie comes out May 20th. Now, May is a hot month to come out, and that's not a reference to my attraction to. Not just kidding. No, like legitimately, it's a hot month because there's a lot of movies that come out that month. So we're gonna see how anime movies hold up to actual mainstream Hollywood stuff, right? We're talking like May is usually around Free Comic Book Day, which is always a new Marvel movie. You've got lots of things coming out in May because it's the start of summertime pretty much. But yeah, the Quintuplets movie is going to hit, and God, am I excited.
Yeah, I think with all the movies that we're going to mention here, like I wonder how many of them are going to be put onto American screens here. So we'll definitely be on the lookout for tickets for that stuff, because
is it even going to hit here? Because like I assume when it comes out, right, we're going to get it like 6 months later.
I'm curious, because like, is this May date? So we're looking at my anime list right now, and like the May date might be for Japan. So maybe if we use Jujutsu Kaisen 0 as an example, maybe it comes out later this year. But yeah, anyways,
which I think would be to its benefit.
Yeah. But yeah, Gotobun getting a movie is incredible. This is like, again, I despite like what people may think about it when you initially see, quintuplets, harem, wow, how degenerate could you be? But this show's actually really good. So, despite the fact that Crim is a deep degenerate, like I understand that you might have some feelings of, worries, might have some, I'm just saying you might have some second thoughts. However, it is really good, and you can trust, your resident good taste part of the
also,
Nii-San podcast.
Did you tell him about how big your brain is? You figured it out. I can't believe you solved Vampire in the Gardens on this episode.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow, you solved it, dude.
in like 10 seconds, man. It was crazy.
They say, I believe reincarnation is real because I think previous Xell did figure out what penicillin is.
That was. You're not supposed to reveal that. In fact, I can't even
actually
confirm or deny, because the entity which may or may not have reincarnated me has prevented me from interfering in that sort of way. Maybe.
Wow, a true celestial hanging out with us, everybody. So that's not the only movie. There's one more as we move on from 5 incredibly wonderful waifus.
Yeah. Oh, go
lead
ahead,
us into
Grim.
it. No, lead us into it. Lead us into it.
Oh, well, I just wanted to quickly shout out Isekai Quartet and Dragon Ball Super, which are probably worth mentioning. But the one that I really wanted to mention personally is Odd Taxi movie In the Woods. And this apparently is coming out on April 1st. And so that's real soon.
that a joke?
In fact, that might be, no, it says April 1st on the thing. So
Exactly.
Sorry, Goddess, can you isekai me back? Like, right up, that would be great.
You're being punished by being isekai'd into this world with me, actually.
Oh, I see. But yeah, so I recently just watched this series, and it was my pick for anime of the year. I think this show is just absolutely incredible, and the fact that there's a movie coming out so soon too is super exciting. So I want to watch this right away, but I guess we will have to wait until it comes to our theaters. But that, like I said, there's a lot of movies here that I know have some pretty big followings. Free, if you're into shirtless swimming guys. Takagi-san, if you're into that show. Recycle of the Penguin Drum is coming out, which is the movie for Mawaru Penguin Drum, which I heard is also very
There's
good.
even Detective Conan.
Detective Conan, which is actually the longest running show. I swear to God, it feels like. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Detective
Oh yeah,
Conan's, like, I think,
Shin-chan.
Yeah. But yeah, like there's so much coming out. So also, I forgot Isekai Quartet. I forgot. You know, that's a good thing to mention too. Did you know that Rie Takahashi she voices Amelia, Megumin, and like so she just voices numerous characters, and when they're combined together, she just voices numerous characters all in one movie.
If you've ever watched this show, like this show is so funny because I swear to God, it's all just like sponsored by the voice actors because they sound like they're having so much fun in this show. And like I think a lot of them have multiple roles in this, by the way.
I love that. Like Rie Takahashi, like she voices so many characters, and I love her. She's like probably like my favorite voice actress, and she gets so excited for her characters. So I'm just always happy to see her.
Dude, they have such a stacked voice acting lineup here, like Sora Amamiya, Kaito Ishikawa, Yusuke Kobayashi, Jun Fukushima, Aoi Yuki, the hard carry of Spider. Like, I mean, these shows are...
They got it.
Yeah. If you haven't watched Isekai Quartet, by the way, like the show, even if you haven't watched all the shows that are like featured in Isekai Quartet, like the show is just good, absurd fun. So I'm not really sure how they made a movie out of it, but like it's gonna be fun.
You know
honestly, for me,
mommy?
it's like,
Aoi, like she voices mommy in Rent a Girlfriend.
Oh my God, she can do it all.
She really can.
Yeah, I just thinking back to Isekai Quartet, like honestly, half the fun for me of watching that show is just seeing the Konosuba quartet added again. Like that's all I need.
I think that's because we're so desperate for another season.
Just on major copium.
Yeah, just give me just like let me just get a taste.
Oh, that'll sustain me for another year. So yeah,
just a taste. Oh, like God, yes. So, that's outside of creeping everybody out there for the last couple of seconds. I think that's I think that about wraps up our spring overview. Yeah.
Yeah, this is it. This is a big episode. We got through all of the things I think we wanted to talk about, and dude, I'm really excited about this next season of anime. Like, I actually will have to pull away time from other things to go watch all the shows here. So
anime's back.
Yeah, anime's back on the menu, boys. Here we go. Let's go.
Let's go. I know. So yeah, as always, thank you so much for checking out Episode 50. If you stayed this long to the end, you're a trooper. Let us know that you stayed to the end. We're always like curious. Just like read. Just see if you're there. You're still out there. So thanks for doing so. We appreciate you. And however you got to the end, skimmed it, however you got here. Thanks for getting here. Thanks for watching episode 50. 50 of them. With this guy, I just, my knowledge pales in comparison. He solves everything. There's just nothing is a mystery to him. It's awesome to be around the Mega Mind himself. I'm honored to be doing 50 episodes with the Mega Mind.
I'm like Psyche K. I just cannot find enjoyment in things because I just solve them. How can I enjoy a murder mystery if I just know what's gonna happen?
I can't believe.
Sorry, Summertime Render.
I already know how it ends. Tweet at me. This is pretty cool. I can't believe they base Psyche K off you. And then the Dark Fire Dragon guy, they base it off me. I pretty much stand around monologuing in the background while Xell just solves everything. So, and thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And, we have the socials. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Twitter. Tell your grandma, that apparently loves Weeby things. Tell everyone.
You never know.
Yeah. Why we're the best anime podcast and the first anime podcast to ever exist, clearly.
Yeah, in history.
In history of anime podcast. Do the thing, hit the ding dong, help with the algorithm, and we'll see you at the next one. Love you. Peace.
Peace out.